What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are bringing another awesome team to Go Battle League Ultra League Premier Cup. Now, this is actually going to be a two-part video. We're going to have the first video today. The second video is going to be tomorrow because I want to go more in depth about Alakazam today. But I ran today with this team of Drifblim and Tangrowth, and then I utilized three different counter users. I used Alakazam, Machamp, and Obstagoon. Actually, I used four. I also used Toxicroak, but the Toxicroak one didn't play out as well. But the Machamp and Obstagoon did absolutely phenomenal. So we're going to talk about Machamp and Obstagoon tomorrow because I want to talk more about Alakazam today and why it works so well. Now, Alakazam does have the Legacy Community Day move of Counter, which is important. We're running Driftblim on the lead, and your biggest losses are going to be some of those anti-flyers, something like a Lapras or something like a Magnezone. You got to watch out for those, and that's why we have that counter user in the back. Now, we're also utilizing Tangrowth on the safe swap because they will either be able to counter the Lapras, resist the charge moves from that Magnezone, and it can also flip the hardest matchup that it has, which is going to be that Charizard potentially, or it's just going to do a lot of neutral damage to the meta. So that is the team today. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the team and the battles. But what we're actually going to do for this video is we're going to shoutcast the battles, and then after the battles we're going to deep dive into one or two of the battles and talk through each decision, why I made it, and go step by step on why I was able to win that battle or why I lost that battle. And then after that, we're going to talk about the team. So yeah, tomorrow's video will have Machamp and Obstagoon instead of Alakazam. I think all three work phenomenally well, and I think Machamp probably has the best rating overall, and Obstagoon is just a monster. But today is going to be Alakazam, and it's a blast of a video. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so yeah. Driftblim on the lead. It's a lucky Driftblim as well. I traded it from the creator of PvPoke.com while we were at GoFest in 2019 in Chicago, so thank you for that. But we have Driftblim on the lead versus Magnezone. Absolutely terrible matchup. You got to get out of there, and we're going straight into the Tangrowth here. Tangrowth, again, fantastic at countering a lot of stuff because of Rock Slide. Since we led with that Driftblim, Dragonite does not want to face off against that, but we have Rock Slide right here, which does absolutely amazing against those flyers. Pokemon like Togekiss, Pokemon like Dragonite, as we see here, Pokemon like Charizard, it will actually one-shot a Charizard. So we get off another Rock Slide right here that does massive, super effective damage. They are going to throw their energy. I'm going to go ahead and let it go. I think I can get to another Rock Slide in time if this is a Dragon Claw. So it is a Dragon Claw, so we're going to go ahead and race to the charge move. I'm hoping I can get to this Rock Slide, but they threw all their energy. This is fantastic. Why? We can come in with that Driftblim right here and completely farm down for energy. Dragonite's going to do quite a bit of neutral damage to us, but we need all the energy in the world to be able to have a better matchup against that Magnezone. So charge move coming through, we're not going to shield. We got to save our shields for our Alakazam and Driftblim in the back. So we have Dragon Claw now coming through, does some nice neutral damage. We farm down. We have a Shadow Ball ready to go. So what we're going to do is when we see that Magnezone, we're going to go ahead and throw that Shadow Ball to force that final shield. So we do throw the Shadow Ball right here. This is going to do a lot of damage to a Magnezone if they don't shield, and they do decide to shield. So we go straight into the Alakazam. We're going to start countering down right now, and they are throwing their energy. This is telling me that something in the back might actually be weak to the Alakazam if they're staying in. They go for the Mirror Shot, and they're deciding to stay in. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Fire Punch right away. Why? We still have Driftblim in the back with some health, and we have a shield ready to go, and we can take out the Magnezone. Last Pokemon is going to be a Venusaur. There we go. Beautiful. We're going to be able to get to the Fire Punch in time. This is going to do a lot of super effective damage, and Alakazam having access to that Fire Punch is so crucial, especially for these Grass-type Pokemon. Look at that. Look at all that damage right there. Now, we do get a bit of lag, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and let the Alakazam go down. We still have Driftblim with a shield, and Driftblim, because of the Ghost Flying typing, will be resisting both Frenzy Plant and Sludge Bomb, so this is a beautiful game right here. We're going to go ahead and shield. We don't want to get hit with the charge move, even though it will be resisted, and then we're just going to go ahead and throw the Icy Wind to take out the Venusaur right there, and that is going to be a good battle. So as you guys saw right there, Tangrowth on the safe swap did phenomenal for us. Got Dragonite low, got shields, and wasted its energy, so our Driftling can come in and farm, and we had a great close right there. Alright, let's move into the next battle. So this next one right here, this is gonna be another good one. We're facing off I believe this is going to be another lead loss right here. That's what's important with this team, is I want to show you guys how you can flip matchups. And again, we're going to talk more in depth after we shoutcast the battles right here. So we have Driftblim on the lead versus Alolan Sandslash. Really, really bad Pokemon for my team. So I got to go into the Alakazam actually to get as much counter damage off as I can. Now this is a beautiful matchup right here. Why? We're ahead on energy, and Shadow Ball from Alakazam does so much damage to a Swampert. Look at that. Boom. It's already down. Now, we're going to have to shield right here, and we're going to risk it for the biscuit to try to farm down with counter. So we are going to shield. I was debating farming with Tangrowth, but you know what? Alakazam, I think, is going to do well, because what we're going to do is we're going to double shield right here, and I'm going to save my Alakazam. In order to take out that Alolan Sandslash, I have to get more counter damage off on it. Otherwise, my whole team is going to get wiped. So let's see what's going to come in right here. It is going to be a Togekiss. So we're going to build up to Shadow Ball, and we're just going to throw it right here. We're going to throw the Shadow Ball right away, either get a shield or absolutely chunk the health, and then we're going to bail out. We do land it, which is phenomenal. We're going to bail out back into the Driftblim right here. Reason being, I need to get off some Icy Winds. I need to put shield pressure, and we are going to be taking super effective damage, but we still have our Tangrowth in the back. So we're going to go ahead and build up and go for the Icy Wind right here. I'm hoping they decide to shield. That's what we need to get right now. We need to get shields. We need to apply debuffs. We do get a shield, which is phenomenal. Now, hopefully I can get to another one in time. No, they're going to throw their energy, which is perfect. Alolan Sandslash is at half health, and it has lowered attack, which means counter damage is going to start adding up right here. So hopefully my Alakazam can put in work. This is why I double shielded it, because I knew I would need it for this exact situation. So we are going to start countering down, and boom, we get to the Fire Punch in time. This could get the shield. The Alolan Sandslash has absolutely no health, and maybe it has a charge move. It does get the shield, and we take out the Alolan Sandslash, and now Togekiss is going to come back in. We have Tangrowth in the back, and we go for the Rock Slide, and that is going to be a good battle. I'm not sure why they decided to shield right there. I think they were going to try and go for an Ice Punch, so it was an interesting choice, but hey, we're still able to pull it off, so that is a good battle right there. All right, moving into the next one here. I think the big thing I want to emphasize from this team is that a Driftblim lead is extremely strong, a Tangrowth safe swap is extremely strong, and if you have a counter user in the back, whether that's Machamp, Obstagoon, or Alakazam, it can do really, really well. Okay, so now positive lead. This is phenomenal, right? We have Icy Wind, which is going to do massive double super effective damage. They decide to bail, so we're going to go ahead and go into Alakazam right here. And this is not the best matchup for us, right? Lick is going to be doing a ton of damage, but hopefully I want to come out of here with shield advantage. So we're going to be putting pressure with this Fire Punch right here. It's going to do a lot of neutral damage, and we do get a shield, which is perfectly fine. We're going to go ahead and keep countering down. Now, Body Slam coming through is probably going to take us out, but I'm going to go ahead and shield right here because I need to apply some more pressure and try to get to that next spot Fire Punch, but no, I can't get to it in time. Well played to my opponent. I got to let this thing go through. We can't keep countering down. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bring in the Tangrowth and look to farm down and get as much energy as we can. I'm guessing I'm going to get hit with one Body Slam. We have a bit of lag right there, but looking at the health right here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get hit with one charge move. It's likely going to be Body Slam, so we're going to go ahead and let it go through. It is going to be Body Slam, which is fine, and then they decide to swap out into Escavalier. So we're going to be going for Rock Slide right here. This is going to be doing neutral damage to the Escavalier, and then we're going to go ahead and swap back into our Driftblim right now, and we're going to be going for the Shadow Ball. I'm going to build up. I should have gone for Icy Wind right there, but we're going to go for the Shadow Ball to really punish this Escavalier. If they decide not to shield, they do decide to shield, which is fine. We're actually going to be able to get to another Shadow Ball in time to take it out because we had so much energy here on our Driftblim. So Escavalier is going to go down to that charge move, and then we're going to see the Dragonite now come back in. We still have a shield. We still have Tangrowth with a Rock Slide, so I think we're sitting pretty good. So Dragonite is going to come back in. We're going to try to get off this Icy Wind. We can't get it. Charge move now coming through. I'm debating shielding, but I'm actually going to hold it for my Tangrowth. Dragon Claw does come through. My opponent actually swaps into Snorlax to fast move me down, so well played. But now I can come in and get a couple extra fast moves of energy, which means we have Rock Slide ready to go. This is why Tangrowth is an absolute monster in the Ultra League Premier Cup. One of my best investments, I think, so far. And then we can safely shield the next Dragon Claw right here and get off the next Rock Slide to win this battle. So I think a couple misplays right there on my end from basically not going for the Icy Wind right away, suspecting that they would probably shield. I think that could have been a better option for me, but overall I still think we pulled this one out. It was a bit close, but that's okay. Great plays to my opponent. All right. let's go ahead and move into the next battle here. Okay, so let's see how this one goes. Yeah, man, Alakazam's so much fun. You guys saw what it did those first couple games. Let's see what it does here for us. So we have Driftblim on the lead versus Togekiss. All right, common lead that we guys see. This is actually really, really good for us because of Icy Wind. We're going to be doing super effective damage and lowering that damage of Charm. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Icy Wind right here. I don't want to go for the Shadow Ball because Charm really starts to add up, and we just want to be able to get off 2 Icy Winds. That's all we need. The attack did fall, which is beautiful. Hopefully I can get to this next one in time, so we do CMP tie, but they did get off the Ancient Power. So Ancient Power will not KO us from this range. I'm not going to shield. Can't give up that shield just yet. We're going to go ahead and go for Icy Wind. If this gets the shield from my opponent, fine, I'll come in with that Tangrowth and farm, or if not, then we win lead. Okay, we won lead. So what are they going to bring in now? Let's see. Driftblim is low, so they can't really farm us down too much. A Gallade is going to come in. Okay, tough one right here. This is definitely going to be a tough one because Gallade is deadly against this team. Confusion is going to absolutely chunk. Close Combat and Leaf Blade are going to do a lot of damage. Close Combat to the Tangrowth right here. Leaf Blade to the Alakazam. So what we need to do is go straight for Power Whip right here. I don't want them to think that it's going to be a Rock Slide. I just need to try to get shields and try to get health, but they did shield right there, so we couldn't sneak one by. All right, Charge Move now coming through. I'm going to have to shield right here. Cannot get hit with a Close Combat, so we are going to shield. It is a Close Combat. Okay, so that means they might try to go for another Close Combat. I'm hoping to get to the Rock Slide. No, I cannot, so I have to double shield right here. They had a lot of energy. I'm guessing this is back-to-back Close Combat, which it is. So then they're going to be swapping out right now, and they swap into Machamp, which actually I think is going to be okay for us. We're going to be going for Power Up right here. Hopefully we get that shield. If not, we'll have to see if we can play it out. We don't get the shield, which is fine. We're Charge Move now coming through. I know it's tough, but I'm thinking right here, okay, if we got the shield, we can come in with Alakazam, but I actually think we can counter down in time before they get to a Rock Slide right here. So we're going to be doing as much damage as we can. They get to a Charge Move right here, and I'm literally like, please don't be a Rock Slide. Just be Cross Chop. It is just Cross Chop. Beautiful. We resist that. We're going to be able to farm down. We have a Fire Punch ready to go. There's Gallade with low health. Oh my goodness, this is going to come down to the wire. We're going to go ahead and go for Fire Punch right here. They did throw all of their energy. This is going to be getting the shield, but can we get one more counter in to be able to get the Fire Punch? We do get one more counter in, and we get the Fire Punch in time, but is this going to be enough damage to take out the Gallade right here? It is going to be enough, and that is going to be a good game to my opponent right there. All right, let's go ahead and move into the next battle here. Oh, these were some fun battles. I can't believe Alakazam worked out the way that it did. And like I said, there's other fighter options. So now we have another positive lead for us. We have Driftblim versus Dragonite right here. In this game, I think we're gonna review after as well. So we're gonna be going for Icy Wind right here. It does a lot of damage to a Dragonite, and it is gonna be lowering the attack, which is great. We go ahead and get a shield as well. Charge Move now coming through. We're not gonna shield. We want to maintain that shield advantage. Dragon Claw not gonna do a lot of damage to us. They decide to swap out into Charizard, and we're actually going to go into Tangrowth right here, which I think is okay in hindsight. We just need to get off 2 Rock Slides. So Charge Move now coming through. I'm going to go ahead and shield, but I don't think they built up to the Blast Burn, which may be a mistake on my end, but we do decide to shield right there. We're going to build up to 2 Rock Slides. So we do get to 2 Rock Slides right here. This first one should be getting the shield, and the second one we should just be able to throw and take out the Charizard. So we do get the shield. Now Charge Move coming through. I think I'm going to have the shield right here just in case it is a Blast Burn. It's another Dragon Claw, so great shield bait by my opponent. I'm going to try to farm, and then I'm going to try to throw the Rock Slide, but it's not throwing the Rock Slide. He gets another Dragon Claw off. That's okay. I think I got a little greedy trying to over farm. I should have just thrown, but we do survive right there, and we're able to get off the Rock Slide. Now, we also have very low health, which means they can't come in and farm, which is actually going to be somewhat okay for us. All right, we're going to see the Dragonite now come back in. Okay, so we're going to see our Driftblim now come in, and got to get off this Icy Wind. We do get the Icy Wind. This is going to be doing a lot of damage right here, but what is going to be in the back? Let's see. All right, we one-shot the Dragonite right there. It's going to be a Venusaur, and I made a mistake. Right there. I swapped into Alakazam. So you guys are going to see Charge Move now coming through. I shouldn't have done that, guys. I shouldn't have done that. You guys know I shouldn't have done that. That's okay. Frenzy Plant's going to be able to take us out. We can't get to the Fire Punch in time. And now we are not going to be able to get to this Icy Wind in time to take out the Venusaur. And we are able to get to it, actually, but it's not going to be enough damage. Shadow Ball wouldn't have been enough damage as well, I don't believe. But, yeah. That is going to be, yep, they got to the charge move anyway, so that is going to be a good battle. So we had a great lead win, but we made a mistake right there, and we're going to talk more about it in depth right now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go back to the battle right here that we lost and talk more about it. So first thing we got to know right here is that this matchup, Driftblim versus Dragonite, is very positive for us. You guys saw how much damage Icy Wind did, and it also lowers the attack of our opponent, which is great. And we're going to be able to get to it before they get to Dragon Claw. So we're sitting in this matchup very, very well. We're going to be going straight for Icy Wind, like I said. It's going to be getting the shields, or it's going to do a lot of damage to the Dragonite. But yeah, that gets the shield, and then they are going to throw a charge move right here. Now, because we lowered the attack, we don't necessarily need to shield this next charge move coming through because it's not going to do as much damage, right? So we're going to go ahead and keep our shield advantage and not shield right here. Now, my opponent does decide to swap into Charizard right here. So when Charizard comes in, notice how we almost have Icy Wind. I could have gone for the Icy Wind on the Charizard, then come in with the Tangrowth, but I think going into Tangrowth was, I think, an okay decision right here. It's not the best, but I think the circumstance in which we should have been able to do that. Let's see right here. Okay, so we Dragon Claw right there, and then what you guys see is I have the Rock Slide right here, but what I'm trying to do is overfarm just a bit because I want to try to get to a Rock Slide against the Dragonite on the back end. But the mistake that I made is in this matchup, Fire Spin's going to be doing way more damage to us than Dragon Breath would, so I should just throw that Rock Slide. The second I get it right there, I should just throw it. And I do click on it, but I did a couple more fast moves because I was spamming so high. So the second I get that Rock Slide, just throw it. We would have had more health right here to be able to get to a Rock Slide against the Dragonite in the back. So they are going to be throwing the charge move. This is going to be not taking us out, but we do get the Rock Slide, right? This is going to be taking out the Charizard. Fast forward a little bit. Okay, so right here, we get to the Icy Wind in time. This is great. This is going to be doing super effective damage, lowering the attack of Dragonite, but it's going to do so much damage, in fact, that it one-shots it, which is beautiful. Now, what I noticed right here is I pause it. I see that a Venusaur is coming in, and in my mind, my Alakazam should be able to get to the Fire Punch in time, but that is a mistake. My Driftblim had basically a little bit of extra energy right here, so I should have stayed in with Driftblim and got off the Icy Wind, then come in with Alakazam and get the Fire Punch. So you guys can see I decided to swap out. That was a mistake. I should have stayed in, gone for the Icy Wind, because I'm not going to be able to get to the Fire Punch in time because they got a fast move ahead of me. Now, we aren't going to be able to survive this as well. So look at how much damage that Frenzy Plant did. Now, if we use Driftblim to do the Icy Wind, let them throw their energy before we get off another Icy Wind, that Frenzy Plant wouldn't have done as much damage to the Alakazam, and we would be able to get to the Fire Punch and win the battle right there. So I think that was the key mistake in this battle right here. Because as you guys are going to see, we're going to be able to get to Icy Wind very, very quickly, and we would have gotten into it before they got to a Frenzy Plant in the first place, which is definitely would have been the better decision in this matchup. Okay, moving into the second battle that we're going to talk about, it's going to be the lead loss against Alolan Sandslash. So the first thing I'm thinking about when I see this matchup is my Driftblim loses hard and my Tangrowth loses pretty hard, but I have Rock Slide, which should do some nice neutral damage to the Alolan Sandslash. So I can't switch out into the Tangrowth, right? It's going to be getting hit really, really hard, and they could honestly stay in that matchup and absolutely destroy me. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go into our Alakazam. Why? This is a Ice Steel type Pokemon, so it's going to be taking double super effective damage from fighting type moves. Alakazam has a very high attack. Counter's going to do a lot of damage, so before they can react, we should be able to get off a lot of damage. As you guys are going to see, we come in, and by the time they reacted, let me see, try to rewind it just a little bit. By the time we get one more off. There we go. By the time they reacted right here to switch out, we already took out a quarter, if not a third, of Alolan Sandslash's health. Now, because of how much damage that did, I recognize, okay, I absolutely chunked, so if I can save my Alakazam by utilizing 2 shields against whatever's coming in and switch him back out, I should be able to counter this thing down. So as you guys are going to see, a Swampert now is going to come in, which is why we're going straight for the Shadow Ball. They may not be prepared for how much damage this is going to do to a Swampert, or we're going to be getting a shield. Either way, I'm going to go into a double shield situation, and look at how much damage that did. That did so much. So in my mind right now, I'm like, I could potentially counter down before they get to another Hydro Cannon, so we're going to throw up a shield, right? That's definitely what we want to do. Now they are going to be getting off the Hydro Cannon right here. We shield it. Now I'm going to see if I can counter down, but sadly I can't. One more fast move right there, as you guys can see, and we could have finished off the Swampert. So we are going to double shield. Why? I told you guys I need to preserve my Alakazam for that Alolan Sandslash that's going to be hiding in the back. Now, they do have 2 shields right here, so what we're going to do is when we see what comes in, notice my switch clock in the bottom right, it's not up just yet, and I don't want to just use a Fire Punch in case they decide not to shield. I want to go straight for the Shadow Ball, and actually in hindsight I overcharged right there. I should have like right there I did one too many counters. I should have done that so I could save a little bit more health and gone for the Shadow Ball right away. But either way, we get off the Shadow Ball right here, and then we're going to bail out of there back into the Driftblim to draw out, and we land it as well. And we draw out that Alolan Sandslash with 2 shields, which is fine. Ice Punches is going to do super effective damage, but it's not going to one-hit KOS, which is fine. Which means we could potentially get to a charge move right here, and they may not be keeping track of energy, but what I want to do is get this Icy Wind and hopefully get a shield right here. They got to start shielding their Pokemon. Why? Because they have a Togekiss that's extremely low, and Alolan Sandslash is their last Pokemon with a bit of health left, and they probably don't want to get hit with a Shadow Ball again. So they do shield right there. And what they could have done right here is look at how much health I had. They could have potentially farmed me down, but I might have been able to get to another Icy Wind in time. If that was the case, I would have come in with Tangrowth. But they are going to throw the energy right here, which is fine. That's going to take us out, which means they are energy dry and their attack is lowered. This is where we're going to bring back in the Alakazam, even though he has 1 shield, because counter is going to do so much damage and the Powder Snow is not going to do as much. Look at how much health we have and look at how much health they have. We basically taken out another quarter. And there we go. We took it all the way down, and we're spamming the Fire Punch right here because I do not want, I want them to either have to shield and hope to get an Ice Punch off on us, which means Tangrowth can then just easily come in. So we are going to be going for the Fire Punch right here. But I think something weird happens. I got a counter in and then did the Fire Punch, which means the damage actually took him out. But either way, we swap into our Tangrowth, and we're going to be going for Rock Slide right here. And this is going to be taking out the Togekiss. So that was how we were able to come back. I think my opponent, if they wanted to win that battle, they should have right here let the Alolan Sandslash go down and save a shield for that Togekiss, because Togekiss could have easily come in right here and basically farm me down and thrown a Flamethrower or an Aerial Ace, whatever they had. I mean, Vine Whip's still doing a little bit of chunk, but you guys know I couldn't get to 2 Rock Slides by the time they get to Flamethrower right there. It would have been definitely a lot closer of a battle, but still good game to my opponent right there. Alright, we are over here on pvpoke.com where you guys can check out rankings, do battle simulations, everything you guys need to know in team building as well. Now, we are bringing Driftblim, Alakazam, and Tangrowth here. Now, I did say at the beginning of the video, I also used other counter users, that being Obstagoon and Machamp, and those 2 on paper do better than Alakazam. So, I would suggest probably using those, maybe even the Machamp or the Obstagoon, instead of Alakazam, but we decided to try it out to see how it works. So, the moveset there, Hex, Icy Wind, Shadow Ball on the Driftblim, that's mandatory, that's its bread and butter moveset. Alakazam, counter, Shadow Ball, Fire Punch. The counter is very essential because we're utilizing it to cover that anti-flyer Pokemon, right? The Lapras, the Magnezone, etc., or the Alolan Sandslash like we saw today. Shadow Ball is a super strong, hard-hitting move on an Alakazam, and Fire Punch provides us some nice coverage to those steals or neutral to a Lapras, for example. And then we have Tangrowth on the safe swap with Vine Whip, Rock Slide, and Power Whip. That Rock Slide does extremely well against the Flyers like we saw today. Did well against Charizard, Togekiss, and Dragonite, all of which are decent counters to it in an even shield, but when it head on energy and head on shields, it can put a lot of pressure, and you'll definitely be getting shields from your opponent. Overall, the score is not too good. That's because of the lack of bulk that this team has. The coverage is pretty decent. As you guys can see here, the X's and O's are okay. Alakazam doesn't have any as good of matchups as Machamp, which is why I said probably go with Machamp or Obstagoon. But overall, I think it's still pretty solid. Now, there are some Pokemon which are going to do really well against this team. Alolan Muck might be one, right? I didn't run into it in this set, but I did run into it in other sets, but I was using Machamp and Obstagoon, both both of which can handle that Pokemon very, very well. Gengar as well could be really strong. Kingdra could be pretty strong, but yeah, overall I think this team is fun. It's definitely on the riskier side and on the spicier side, right? Not as bread and butter, but if we take a quick look, if we were to change Alakazam to a Machamp here, I'll show you guys what I mean. So counter, cross, chop, rock slide, the moveset you guys are going to want to have. And this team we'll be showcasing tomorrow. I ran it today with a lot of success as well. So let's see, there we go. So yeah, a lot better in terms of the X's and O's. As you guys can see right there, Machamp does so well against a lot of Pokemon, and it has access to Rock Slide, which will help out as well against those flyers if they don't come into that Tangrowth. And then overall, the biggest weaknesses is just going to be a Gengar and a Crobat. So on paper, Machamp definitely does a lot better. Obstagoon does well as well. So let's check out Obstagoon real quick. So the reason why I brought Obstagoon was because of how many Gallades are out there, right? Gallade is very, very common, and Obstagoon can do pretty well in a neutral matchup there because of that Night Slash. It just has to watch out for the close combat. Overall, it's still pretty solid. Not as hard of wins as Machamp has with that hard-hitting counter damage, but Obstagoon can still do well, and it can also have Gunk Shot, which is going to do really well against Tangrowth. Does a lot of damage and can one-shot those fairies, whether that's a Clefable, a Granbull, or a Togekiss, and overall it's pretty solid. So you guys could run these three different teams. Driftblim and Tangrowth are basically the core, and then you have a counter user in the back, that being the Machamp, the Obstagoon, or the Alakazam. And I did run Toxicroak as well, but I faced off against way too many Gallades in the back that I wasn't able to overcome with a Toxicroak, which is why I tried Obstagoon. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this new setup. Do you guys want me to do some more battle reviews after? Do you guys want to see just more battles, right? The typical videos will have anywhere from like 8 to 10 battles, while this one only had 5, and then we reviewed 2 battles and then talked about the team. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that. What do you guys think of the team? Are you guys surprised how well Driftblim can do? Were you guys surprised how well the Tangrowth could do on the safe swap? And also, Alakazam did absolutely phenomenal for me today. I was so excited to use it just to try it out and spice things up, and it did really, really well, so I'm happy for that. Now, long term, in terms of overall sets, like grinding really long, I don't think Alakazam can put in enough work for you because you're going to run into a lot of its common counters in the back, which is why I said lean more towards the Machamp or the Obstagoon in the back. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.